Is Prey as good as the first Predator film that came out in 1987? Fuck no. Like, there's no competition whatsoever. Now, you can make the argument that it's the second best if you want to say that it's better than Predators, the one with Adrian Brody, which I believe a lot of people would say that it is. Now, I guess in some ways I could agree with that, but the Predators film, from beginning to end, felt like a survival film, which is exactly what the first one was. A military team was brought in to perform a rescue operation, and very early you get to see their military proficiency and you get to see their effectiveness as killers. And throughout that entire time, they were being watched by something. You didn't know what it was. All you knew is that it was extraterrestrial. And then soon after that, members of the team started dying. It was a story of survival. And then you take the movie Predators, you had a mercenary, you had a sniper, you had a Yakuza member, you had FBI's most wanted, you had a death squad member, you had a serial killer, you had a cartel member, you had a bunch of different types of killers that were taken from planet Earth and then just dropped into this game preserve. They had no idea who anybody was or what was going on. And then very quickly they discovered that they're being hunted. And they had to figure out what's hunting them and figure out how to survive. It was a story of survival. Now, this film didn't quite feel that way. I mean, it still was about survival, but it wasn't until almost an hour into the film where the main character finally sees the Predator, and then soon after that, the Predator starts killing her tribesmen, and then at that point, it feels like it's about survival. Because until that point, the only survival aspect of the film that I really got from it, it's her getting stuck in a mud pit. That's it. And this is all almost an hour into the film. Now keep in mind that the film is only an hour and 40 minutes. But if you subtract the end credits, it's actually less than that. So it didn't feel like a survival film or as good of a survival film as the first one or Predators. This film was actually very similar to Mulan in that Mulan was supposed to do this or that because she was a woman, and instead she joined the military not only to spare her father that fate of joining the military because he clearly was not able to fight, but to prove something to herself and to everybody else. And it was tough, it wasn't easy, it was the life of a man that she had never experienced, and she had to work really, really hard and dig deep in order to match what everybody else was doing and exceed it. Now, the film Prey takes place in the 1700s, a time when gender roles were a lot more prevalent than they are today. However, I'm not entirely sure what the gender roles were in her particular tribe, the main character's tribe. Now, it is kind of implied that women are just supposed to make medicine and gather food and cook. When the main character joins up with a rescue party, they make a joke about how they're not going to be gone long enough to need a cook, but they bring her along anyway for her medicinal expertise. So that's the reason they let her come along, but the real reason was for her was to prove something to herself and to them. And from the very beginning of the film, you see her throwing her axe, honing her skills, trying to be a killer, a hunter, and she says that she's ready to take this test, which is to hunt and kill something that's trying to hunt and kill you. And trying to prove something is exactly why she went along with that rescue party. It had nothing to do with her medicinal expertise or cooking or none of that. Now, do I have a problem with that? No, I thought Mulan was a very great film. It was a very beautiful story. I loved it. The reason I have an issue with all of that in this film is because it's a Predator film. Now, I don't know if she's trying to break gender roles or if she's merely pursuing what she wants to do with her life. All I know is for a good portion of the film, she fails to demonstrate that she's a competent killer or hunter. And at the very beginning of the film, you see her trying to kill a deer. She fails, and she tries multiple times. And then you see her trying to shoot a hawk or an eagle, and she fails. Now, she claims she was waiting for it to circle back around, and that might be true. The point is, she didn't do it. And then she takes the test where she's supposed to hunt and kill something that's trying to hunt and kill her. She says she's ready. She fails. Now, maybe it's because the tree snapped or whatever. The point is, she didn't do it. And then she's trying to kill rabbit and she fails. So she ends up having to modify her axe, and she makes like a rope and attaches it to it. That way she can just kind of yank it from the tree and like swing it right back at her. That's stupid. That seems very dangerous, and like it wouldn't work in real life at all. I feel like if you threw an axe that hard at a tree, it would be wedged in there very good, or at least it could possibly be wedged in there very good, and it'd be a better idea to just go up there and yank it out with your bare hands rather than trying to yank that shit out of there with a fucking rope. That just seems like a horrible idea. But anyway, she does that, and then she tries to kill a bear. She fails. So at no point do you see her being a competent killer or hunter at all. The only time you see any sort of competence in that regard is when she's fighting a man, and she basically kicks his ass. And then later on, she effortlessly slaughters a group of men on some special ops type of shit with that axe. It's ridiculous. And to finish it all off, she kills the predator and makes it look pretty easy. And this is the same predator who kills the grizzly bear, the same one that she failed to kill, kills that grizzly bear, fights it, overpowers it, and one-shots it. It just punches it right in the head and one-shots it. That very same fucking grizzly bear she failed to kill. And he also slaughters a group of men, a dozen, maybe more. They're all armed and they have guns, and he effortlessly kills all of them. He also kills a gray wolf effortlessly. She kills that predator, and they try to save face and say that it's because she's underestimated and the predator and other people underestimate her, and that's what makes her dangerous. And I get that, like, you should never underestimate your opponent, but you cannot use that as an excuse as to why she gets away with everything. It's ridiculous. When the predator let her go because she was trapped, I mean one, that should have like broken her leg, or at least made her bleed out or something. Like, she was completely fine. But when he got her there, he should have killed her, because when she went to the camp of men that were slaughtered, there was a guy on the floor and he was no threat, and the predator killed him, but not her. Even though he was hunting her, he was chasing her, but just chose not to kill her because he doesn't hunt that way, only when it comes to her. And then on top of that, she also uses this flower to bring down like her temperature, because that's what she used on the guy who like they were rescuing at the beginning, to bring down his temperature so that he wouldn't bleed out. And she takes that to avoid being seen by his technology. Now, I get that it brings your temperature down, but how the fuck do you hide from his technology? That doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure if I put normal human technology in her fucking mouth, a normal fucking thermometer, it would still come out to 96.8 or something like that. So how the hell do you hide from that? It doesn't make any sense. So I can make the argument that this is the best Predator film since the original, but personally I like Predators more. Now, I'm not saying that Predators had no issues. It's been quite a while since I watched that movie, and it was not without issues, but I feel like I liked that movie more than this one. It doesn't mean this one was horrible. The cinematography was great. I loved the setting. It was new, and I actually enjoyed the fact that it was a woman. Like, it's something completely new, but they could have just showed her competence in everything she did. Show her killing the deer, killing a bear, like she's an actual predator, someone worth hunting. So when she's trying to survive, it makes sense. Instead, you see her failing and failing and failing and failing. Oh, by the way, I killed the fucking predator. It's just fucking stupid. But like, whatever. Like, there are other issues I probably could have found with this film, but I've only seen it once, and I couldn't wrap my head around all the stuff I was seeing. But all in all, it wasn't a bad film, and in comparison to like the second Predator and the newest Predator, the Predator, those two were horrible. So in comparison to those, this movie was phenomenal. In comparison to the original, not so much. This movie was hyped up to be that movie since the original film. I didn't feel that way, but let me know how you feel in the comment section if you saw this film and you actually believe it was as good as the original, or if you agree with me, or if you have your own opinion. Let me know in the comment section. Please leave a like. It does help me so much. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next video next Friday. See you then. Bye bye.